One of the most popular tourist attractions in France is being restored years after a horrible fire that made international news.
The Notre Dame Cathedral caught on fire just over 5 years ago, causing its roof and spire to collapse. Since, there's been a lot of work to restore the cathedral and open it to tourists again.
Our Matt Renew is in Paris covering the games for us. And Matt, the hope was to have that landmark ready for the public in time for the Olympics.
You're right, Kyle and Kim. Good evening. Notre Dame sees around 13 million visitors a year, so being open for the Olympics would have been pretty big. And while they're going to have to wait a little bit longer for tourists, it's still a tourist attraction and being seen by a lot of people during the Olympics.
Of all the places tour guides like Annie Chivaret take people in Paris,
to show them beautiful Paris,
Notre Dame and its many gargoyles,
not to forget the gargoyles,
is still one of the most popular.
We are standing now in front of Notre Dame,
which is amazing after a fire in 2019 destroyed the roof and spires of Notre Dame.
There's no roof now.
Shocking the world and the people of Paris.
We remember when the spire fell, it was dramatic.
5 years later, this cathedral still draws a big crowd even if you can't go inside.
It's impossible at the moment to go into Notre Dame.
But from outside, people can see the restoration with a wall of photographs,
all the pictures
documenting the historic work being done here.
How it is restored, how stained glass and the stone inside is cleaned, how they select the wood to make timbers.
And while scaffolding has surrounded the structure for years,
network of scaffolding, metal structure, and it's impressive.
Progress is being made. Just before the Olympics, some of that scaffolding has come down, and the famous golden rooster is sitting once again atop a new spire, symbolizing Notre Dame's rebirth, with the church set to reopen later in 2024.
A lot of people contributed, gave money for this restoration.
And during the Summer Games, Annie says the world will see Notre Dame rising from the ashes.
And go back with good memories of Paris.
So the Notre Dame Cathedral seen a lot of work on its roof and spire, but a lot of glass makers and locksmiths from around France are also working to restore those famous stained glass windows which were covered heavily in soot and lead. Again, that cathedral scheduled to open later in 2024, but it was featured heavily in the Olympics. Reporting from the banks of the Seine River under the Eiffel Tower, I'm Matt Renew, 9 News.
Yeah, it's just such a special place. Was there last fall, Matt, and they had those bleachers set up, like 2 stories of them, so that people could sit and have a quiet moment of reflection at Notre Dame, even if they couldn't go into the church. And you would see people praying and people sketching the cathedral and things like that. And it was really lovely and thoughtful the way that the city of Paris has allowed people to feel like they can visit the cathedral even while it's being reconstructed.
You're right, Kyle. It's still a wonderful tourist attraction. Those bleachers were set there for just that purpose, to give people some way to connect with that cathedral, even if they couldn't go inside. So hopefully later in the year, they can go back inside, have that connection again on the inside of that cathedral. Until then, they can watch that restoration from the outside, which has been remarkable and a huge task for this country to get done.
That's great. Well, we'll send you back for that, Matt. You can do that, because I want to see it.
You know what? I'm ready. Kim, I've got my hat.
Okay.
And
there he is.
so I'm Parisian now. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm ready for a stroll along the Seine. And you know, a croissant a little bit later. So yes,
Yeah.
I can come back.
You can tell the hat's authentic because it has his name stenciled on the side. That's how you can tell it's an authentic French beret. Matt Renew, live in Paris.
Merci beaucoup.
Right there.